Hey, welcome to you and welcome to your reading. All right, so the message I have today is for the LGBTQIA plus community, and I have a number of messages coming through from Spirit already. They have quite a bit they want to communicate to you today. So before we dive in here, if you're new here, welcome. I went ahead and set a spiritual quarantine for this reading, which is intended to maintain the integrity of the message today. And that spiritual quarantine will come down at the very end, and I'll let you know once we get there. But as we're opening up into this energy, Spirit is sending through the word whispering. As if this were your intuition that is whispering to you. They're showing me the High Priestess tarot card in my mind's eye right now. But they're saying here that you know what to do. And you know how to do this. So whatever obstacle or challenge that you're facing right now, you actually know how to navigate your way through this. So they want to send through some encouragement to you to keep going. And they also have some specific guidance around the situation you're going through today. So I'm going to communicate some of that as we go through the reading. They have some things they want to say around that. But they also then, they're kind of dropping me now into a vision here of almost like, I don't know if you hear that, maybe somewhere in the like desert. Yeah, somewhere maybe in the desert or in like Morocco or like, I don't know, there's just a lot of sand around. And they're showing me you drawing a line in the sand. Now, this feels like specific advice for you to draw a line in the sand. That means for you to have a boundary and to maintain it and for you to respect it. So that feels really important, especially if there's any like people pleasing going on. That feels like it's the case for someone specific here. But they're definitely saying draw a line in the sand, have boundaries. The other thing they're saying here is they're almost showing this like line in the sand, almost as if it were some sort of measurement. So they're also saying that it's important that you have standards. Yes, and that you have a standard for whatever this situation is, or event is, or dynamic is that you're finding yourself in. It does feel like it's related to or connected to the challenge that you're navigating. Yes, so they are saying it is important that you have standards and you keep to them. Okay, so this feels a bit, I'm not gonna lie, this feels a bit juicy. I feel like they have some very specific things they want to say to you today, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the cards. Before we get any further, I do want to ask Spirit, what is going well within this energy? What is going well? Do you want this card? Okay, interesting. So we're giving you the Lovers. Oh, so they're actually saying it's the Lovers in reverse. I like this for you. Now, I don't know what this is about specifically. We're gonna get a little more information here, but they're saying the Lovers in reverse, and I am seeing this as like, you almost like walking away from something that's not good for you. This could be like the literal meaning of the card. Like it could be around a breakup, or it could be like a friend breakup or a coworker breakup or something like that. But it does feel like no matter what, it almost feels like once your boundaries are in place, you'll realize that there are certain people, places, things, dynamics that no longer fit your standard. They're saying standard of living. Interesting. Okay, I really like this for you. It's almost like the bar was really low before. Does that make sense? That's what they're saying, that's what they're communicating. So you doing this, I see you almost like going a separate way, but being sure about it, being almost like objective. There's a bit of like, in a good way, a detached energy here. It's like, yep, they didn't, again, measure up. So it's not fitting. Yeah, King of Pentacles. This is coming through as like the measurement. That's so interesting. This is coming through also as like the line in the sand is what they're saying to me, because the pentacles are all around the element of earth. Okay, and this is coming through with like some sand. I don't know, that's what they're saying. I really like this. This is also really firm. This is a really firm energy. The King of Pentacles is all around like being in your masculine, healthy masculine energy, which is saying that there is a line, there is a boundary, but this cannot be crossed, okay? And if it is, then I bid you farewell, okay? Like you see this person taking their hat off here. It's almost like it's kind, it's gentle, but it's saying actually you just don't fit here. Okay, I really like this for you. This feels like what's going well for sure. Okay, which deck, this one? Okay. So that's what's going well. I actually see you taking action on that. I see you actually going through the motions and the movement and the kind of measurement for yourself and creating those boundaries. I really like that for you. So that does feel like there is potential for that here. That potential almost feels palpable. I can almost see you doing this. I like it. Okay, yes. So we have the Moss card. It says moss, agate, it says positivity, it says change. Yes, okay. So I feel like by you implementing this boundary, these boundaries and this standard is going to like usher in some positive changes for you. Wow, I really, really like this. Now, I like that this moss agate is coming through as like connected in with that element of earth, which again is part of the King of Pentacles or the Pentacles suit, right? So I definitely feel that. That's really nice here. But Spirit also wants to clarify a bit around what the standard they're talking about. It's not a standard like, for instance, if you were attempting to date someone and being like, well, you must, you know, be 6 feet tall, or you have to, it's not superficial is what they're saying. This is actually speaking to like values. This is speaking to like your character or character traits that you're looking for, or looking for that standard or those values out of this situation, even if it's not from a particular like person necessarily or relationship. But this is really speaking larger to a dynamic within yourself, in fact, okay? And wanting you to see this clearly, where you haven't been as firm. Okay, yeah, do you want this card? Interesting. Yeah, I like this energy for you. Yeah, it's coming in. This rain is coming in with a lot of water. It says cleansing, purification, hydration. Yeah, it's almost like you're going through some sort of purification's not quite the word. I guess it could be similar to that we would use. Yeah, okay, here's the other one. They're sending through broom. Oh, I like it. It says energy clearing, freshening. Yeah, same thing. There's cleansing, there's clearing, there's purification. It's almost like you're getting clear on this. There's like a clarity coming through here. It's like you're getting clear. Okay, almost like the rain itself is clear. There's like a lucidity coming through here. Yes, clarity. It's like cleaned up. It's like simplified. It's very direct. It's something you've communicated, especially if this is involving other people outside of you, like this Lover's card may be indicating, okay, for a couple of you here. So I really, really enjoy this for you. And I do think once you go to set these boundaries and you set this standard for yourself, you're going to find things will start to clear of their own accord. Again, I'm just getting this energy, especially with this moss and this broom card, of like it's going to usher in some positive changes. Now, it's possible this feels a little bit scary for you, okay? Because it will require an element of faith here. For you to believe and to trust that that your body and your spirit team are working on your behalf to bring you things that actually align with you and align with you deeply, okay? So it does require that. But knowing that even if it's not this person, place, thing, dynamic that you're currently, event, situation you're currently finding yourself in, that there is something else that will come in that will be much, much better than what you're currently experiencing. So that is part of what this message is trying to communicate to you today, is to have faith and to trust that when you set boundaries and when you set a healthy standard for yourself that you don't budge on, okay? Again, that King of Pentacles, that you stand firm in, okay? It's gentle, but it's firm. It's healthy masculine energy, okay? Then you will find not only will the things that don't align with that frequency, that vibration, they'll clear themselves naturally or will exit the situation, especially with you reinforcing how you take action on this, okay? So again, when we say we have a boundary, we communicate to someone that this is the action I'm going to be taking as a result of this boundary if you don't respect this boundary, or you can't in some ways just uphold it, okay? So it's not controlling anyone outside of ourselves. It is saying that, okay, if you cross this boundary, you call me at this hour that I've communicated doesn't work for me, well, I'm gonna have to withdraw my energy and or my presence and or this connection. We may need to disconnect fully, okay? So seeing the difference there, Spirit really wanted to clarify that distinction, but they are saying here that your energetic field will then cleanse itself naturally, like this rain energy. It's almost like the rain happens naturally. This isn't something that you or I control. This is part of nature. So same thing, when you hold a boundary and hold standards, it's everything else outside of you starts to align with that frequency and that energy you're putting out, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so that's what they're saying. Yes, love this, okay, and they're giving you this. Do you see how abundant this is? It's harvest. It says determination, it says hard work, but harvest, you see, it's you getting all of the things that you actually deserve. It is you actually having enough. It is you being filled up. It is you being overfilled to the top with abundance here. I really like this card for you. It's definitely coming linked in with the Empress tarot card. Okay, but they're also saying here that it does take determination. Again, it takes some level of firmness around this. That's how the determination is coming through. It's almost like, again, being determined to uphold your own boundaries and your own standard. This has to come from you. It doesn't come from anyone else. That means you learn how to say no when you gotta say no, okay? Yes, and they're saying that they're acknowledging how hard this can be, especially if you have like patterns around this, which I sense you do just from this energy. They're showing me like the circle of this moss. It's almost coming through as like connected into the world tarot card, but it feels like it's a pattern or cycle for you to almost like accept less or allow people to like kind of cross your boundaries and you not take action on it appropriately or enforce those boundaries that you have. For you maybe to not even have a standard around whatever this is. This could be maybe, for instance, in your relationships. It could be in your connections with, let's say, your family. This could be around, for instance, how you show up in the workplace or in your business. Maybe, again, you don't have certain standards that need to be there for the work you do or the clients you see, as an example, okay? But Spirit is saying that, yes, it feels like hard work up front, but you reap so much more than you sow, is what they're saying. Okay, the momentary discomfort is worth it for you to then have so much more. Okay, so I really like this. Spirit, do you want to talk a little bit more about that pattern? Okay, they want to talk about the pattern a little bit more that you've been carrying for a while now. What about this pattern? Do you want this bottom card? Okay, so we're giving you the Page of Swords. You want this card? King of Cups in reverse. Oh, Wow. Hold on, they're gonna give you another card or two here. Wow. Okay. What else? What else? Okay, I see that. You want this card? Wow. King of Cups and Queen of Cups in reverse. Goodness. That's intense. Okay, so, all right, sorry, they're saying one more. Hold on. Almost. One more. Okay. Last card. This one. This one. Okay, yeah, I see that. And the Four of Swords. Ah, that makes sense. Okay, so they're saying here, let's go through this one by one because they have a lot of messages for you here. But first, they're saying with this Page of Swords, this Page of Swords is coming out both upright and in reverse. But do you notice how sort of like young and youthful this page energy is? Okay, now if you can look at this a little bit with a softer lens, the way Spirit is showing this card to me is almost as if this person has communicated, like the swords indicate in tarot, they talk about like communication, okay? It's almost like you're this Page of Swords and you've been communicating to others that maybe you have certain wants or needs or boundaries, okay? But this Page of Swords is almost like, it's coming through with a bit of like unsureness. That's not really a word, but it's coming through as unsure, like this person's unsure. It's almost like, well, then when someone comes to cross this boundary or comes to almost like come into contact with this Page of Swords, it's almost like they're shying away from the confrontation. This is coming through as like an avoidance of confrontation. Yes, it's coming through as like when this boundary gets crossed that you've set, it's almost like you're shrinking back. I just see this person like shrinking. Again, the Page of Swords in reverse. I just see them being like, well, I'm not really sure. Maybe like putting down their sword or just not holding it as tight or not holding it correctly. It's almost like whoever would see this Page of Swords wouldn't really take them seriously, okay? Because they don't seem firm. It's like they're not really ready to go into battle, if that's an example for this Page of Swords, okay? Yeah, it's almost like, you know, they're not wearing the correct gear for this. They're not really covered up. It's kind of just like, it's almost like you would probably look at this person if they came in battle and be like, well, what's going on, right? So this is the energy that Spirit is sending through, is almost like this is your energy. It's almost like you're communicating some things, but there's nothing to back it up, is what they're saying. You're not really like sticking to it, or it feels like there's some sort of like softening when it comes to the confrontation bit. There's an avoidance. And then they're showing me this like Lover's card and the Lover's card in reverse. It's almost like when other people come to you, or, you know, again, come close to that line in the sand that you've drawn. It's just, you're just not holding it. And Spirit really wants you to get into like sentry mode, like become a sentry actually. And it's almost like this is a no-go. You like put your foot down, put your sword down, you know, you're kind of firm. There's a firmness. Again, I keep talking about this like healthy masculine energy, but that's really what's needed here, okay? And I say that because of how much the cups are coming out here, and especially with this Queen of Cups and the King of Cups coming in reverse. It's just like, it's like there's too much feminine energy here, the Queen of Cups in reverse, and there's not enough masculine, King of Cups in reverse, okay? It's like out of balance somehow. This is totally out of balance. Now, the reason this also feels really loaded is because they're saying this is bringing a lot of really difficult feelings for you. It's almost like when this standard isn't met, or this boundary is crossed, or this need isn't met, or this want isn't met that you've clearly communicated or have stated, or again, however this comes up in this pattern for you and this dynamic, it just brings in a lot of feeling for you. I think it feels, I think that sort of, it's almost like the feeling of being wishy-washy, okay? Like almost like I was talking about this being unsure. It's almost like this person's wishy-washy, okay? And that's not saying that you are. Like that doesn't feel like it's your character innately. It just feels like Spirit wants to point this out to you. You've done nothing wrong, but this may be why you've been feeling these like kind of crummy feelings around this. okay? Kind of crummy. You've just been feeling like, wow, well now, you know, I have to like over accommodate for someone else, or I have to give more than I receive, or it just feels like it's draining me. There's a large energy here of being drained by this, of not only by the situation itself, but by the emotional toll it's taking on you. Yeah, they're saying here the Harvest card in reverse, it's almost like they're saying toil was the word they were trying to send through. It's like you've been toiling away at this without having anything firm. It's almost like if this were a river or yeah, something like that, and it needs a dam. It needs like a firm wall, and it just doesn't have it. It's almost like it's overflowing. They're showing me the image now of like a river like overflowing, or a dam that was trying to be built, but it just crumbles. Okay, again, there's an energy of just this like crumbling, or being wishy-washy, or just it's not firm. There's a real lack of being firm. Now again, swords are connected in with the element of air, okay? There's nothing firm about air. Not really, okay? So it just, that's what that feels like. Yeah, and it does feel like it's possible if you have any placements in any of the air signs like Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. You don't have to. This could be confirmation, another confirmation this is part of your reading, okay? But it feels really strong. And I gotta say, I don't love the way this King of Cups and Queen of Cups in reverse feels. I don't love it. It feels like it constantly puts you off balance. It constantly is draining you. It's making you have to do extra work, or to just do things that you ultimately don't want to, okay? And it doesn't feel good. So Spirit wants to give you this rest, wants you to experience this peace of knowing that your boundaries have been met, your standard has been met. Because when you actually enforce it correctly, it brings a lot of rest into your life. Again, it's almost like if you confront the conflict up front, okay, then this is what it leads to on the back end. Again, it's the harvest, it's the rest, okay? It's the positivity, it's the positive changes of the Moss Agate card, okay? It's the King of Pentacles, that's a level of abundance as well, okay? So Spirit is asking you to kind of really look at these things within you. There's an element of this Four of Swords coming through. I'm kind of seeing a bit of the Hermit Tarot card in my mind's eye of like introspection here, and how can you be firm in this, and what healing can you do to fix this for yourself, so that way you are no longer allowing energy in, okay, into your field, into your experiences day to day, that actually are going to keep you up at night, or make you again have to do more than you need to, or expend extra energy. Again, it's exhausting. I gotta admit, this energy is exhausting, because it's also emotionally, it's deeply emotionally exhausting to constantly have your boundaries you know, trespassed, to constantly feel like you're being drained, to constantly feel like your emotions aren't being considered, or what you're saying. I'm almost getting like some sense of like, almost like, this is for someone specific here, but like gaslighting here too. Almost like, well, that didn't really happen. You didn't really communicate this to me. And Spirit, again, is trying to whisper to you that your intuition is correct here. This is not healthy, okay? This is not healthy. All right, so anything else, Spirit? What is it? Okay, so anything else before we move to our final card? That card and this one? All right, yep, I knew it. I knew we were gonna see this card. I knew it. I knew we were gonna see these cards. Okay, so like, I'm telling you, look. The Six of Swords, this is you, again, walking away from this. When I was talking about, and I was opening up into this reading, talking about a disconnect, or I see you almost detaching, or being objective, or being firm in your boundaries. That's what the Six of Swords is reflecting into. This is reflecting you moving out of this difficulty of all the clouds here and into the sun, okay? This is you being very firm, very communicative, very clear in your communication around your boundaries and around what you do and don't deserve. And this is going to bring in a lot of really amazing energy for you. Look at that, the sun. It's almost like your body, your mind, mind, your soul is happy when you say enough is enough, when you say I am worth it, when you say I am good enough, when you say I deserve more and I can have it, okay? All of those things are absolutely true for you. Spirit doesn't want you to experience this 9 of Swords anymore, okay? Again, this is coming with the same energy of the 4 of Swords in reverse. It's almost like you are so deeply drained from this, pattern. It can't keep going because you are literally, I feel like literally for many of you, just not getting rest. Like because of this, this can be a card of like anxiety. It can be a card of frustration. It's a card of insomnia. It's a card of restlessness. It's a card of just being overworked. It's a card of being afraid. Okay, so there's a lot of things here that Spirit's saying that, again, when you come into alignment within yourself around this energy, it all just adds up, okay? But you have to make this choice for yourself to heal this dynamic. That's why it keeps repeating on you. All right, so we have come, yeah, here we go. Dissolve. They're saying dissolve in reverse. It says release identity, merge with source. They're talking about the word dissolve here. Okay, they don't want you to dissolve anytime that, it comes to reinforce or enforce a boundary. They don't want you to dissolve anytime it comes to creating or maintaining a standard. Again, the line in the sand. They don't want you to dissolve the way that you've been dissolving. It's almost like your energy goes diffuse. You're just kind of like suddenly, again, all this cups and water energy just everywhere. It's like flowing everywhere, okay? Spirit wants you to contain this. Now, it's interesting because I read this card as connected into the zodiac sign of Pisces. Okay, so it's very similar. Pisces is all about like merging, okay? Spirit is saying that you've been merging, you've been over merging. That is part of this. I don't know if it's a people pleasing, but it's definitely a lack of healthy masculine energy. That's for certain here. But it's a lack of like firmness. It's a lack of, it's actually a avoidance of confrontation and conflict is the source of this, okay? And Spirit really actually wants you to dissolve that and to heal it, completely this time. All right, so we have approached towards the end of this reading. I hope this has been helpful for you. I know this has been a lot of information from Spirit, but they really wanted you to have this message today and to support you and to guide you into how to navigate this challenge or situation you're in, okay? All right, they're sending this through with the most amount of love because they want to see you succeed. That's what they're saying. All right, so final card here. This card? This one? Yeah. Okay, interesting. Do you want to read? Okay, so they sent through this one. Okay. It says not forgotten. It says messages from Spirit, unbroken connection. Yes. So I was just talking about they're here with you and wanting to see you succeed. This is just confirming that, okay? Your Spirit team is here. It's almost like looking over you, watching over you, guiding you. That's what they're doing. They want you to know your connection is intact here. This message today is for you, in fact, okay? If you had been questioning that. So, yeah, they just want you to, again, introspect and to look at it, but they're here to help guide you through this. They know it can be really difficult because a lot of times these patterns come from childhood wounds, okay? They usually do, or from something that was modeled in childhood or a dynamic you had with a parent that was unhealthy. Okay, so they really, really want you to look at this. Perfect. All right, so they gave you 2 other cards. Wow, they're really speaking to you today. They gave you lay it on the altar. It says hand it over, soften, surrender, forgive. Yeah. Okay, so out of this, they're saying part of this surrender is coming in with faith. Again, we were talking about it during the reading, but they want you to like have faith, okay? Have faith that if you set a boundary and a standard, it's not like you'll never find someone again. Like you absolutely will, okay? But someone who's actually like aligned with you and aligned with the boundaries and your standards that you have, okay? So they definitely want to confirm that part. They're also saying forgive here, like be gentle on yourself through this process. It can be really difficult to do this level of facing yourself, And it's definitely a form of shadow work, okay? So they want you to be gentle with yourself, forgive yourself. You've done nothing wrong. Again, they're trying to confirm here, especially with this like ancestor card here, that this is something you've inherited, okay? But it is, unfortunately, for better or worse, your responsibility to heal it, so that way you can have a better life, okay? So they want you to know that. And they're also sending through these singing stones. And it says, transmit your vibration, use your voice. Exactly this. So we're gonna read this card because they're like, yes, use your voice. And again, I've been talking about this like frequency, this vibration, okay? When you incorporate those boundaries and that standard basically into the way that you're operating, you are going to be transmitting at a different frequency or vibrational level, okay? And that will attract in a different type of people, events, situations, workplaces, whatever it is that is actually aligned with you and your happiness. Okay, so let's get into the singing stones. I'm just gonna look this one up here in the guidebook, and we're gonna read this, and then I'll communicate anything else that you need to have here. Okay, it's on page 126, in case that's an angel number for you. 6 definitely is what they're saying. All right. In world mythology, there are many stories in which sound, song, and vibration are mysteriously connected to the stones. Some myths speak of certain stones having the power to tone or make musical sounds when they're struck or rubbed together in the right way. Other stories tell of stones that create enchanted echo chambers when activated by the voice. Other stories feature stones that sing, saying that they're imbued with the memories of the ancients who were once connected to them. Some believe that the world's great megalithic stone circles were erected with the vibration of sound and song. Then, of course, there's the exquisite reverberation that occurs when we gather and sing together inside stone temples. The Singing Stone card invites you to share your voice now, to find ways to express your soul and creativity with those around you. Your voice holds a unique sound current, and when you share it in your own way, the world is forever changed. Don't try to sound like anyone else, for that would be a great waste. Find your own unique song and share that with the world around you now. How are you being called to share your voice and express your unique song right now? How are you being called to express yourself with the world and those around you? And the soul inquiry is, how are you being called to share your voice or transmit your vibration in a bigger way? Yes, I love it. They're showing me the energy of this like Page of Swords, like maturing, almost becoming like more, they're saying grown up. Okay, yeah, so this feels like a big like developmental milestone, which is like awesome, in fact, is what they're saying. The other, there's another kind of example coming through here from Spirit, but something around like, even if this, for example, this reading for you is around like chasing after a dream, as you're going after a goal or a dream, whatever it is that you have, whether it's for a loving relationship or to start your own business, or if it looks like for you to get that specific job that you're looking for, all of that still requires that you have boundaries and standards for yourself about what you will and won't accept. Because if you don't have them, then you're likely to fall into the same traps you were beforehand that left you feeling not quite fulfilled, or like it wasn't enough for you, or it wasn't fulfilling in some way, is really what they're saying, okay? So it's important that this actually feels imperative to, they're saying that word specifically, imperative to the ways that you go about rebuilding your life or creating the life you want, or some people like to use the word manifesting, but manifestation is all about the work, again, the hard work and the effort you put into this. It does require conflict. It does require tension. It does require healing, okay? So that is like what they are asking you to do now, is to realize that this is actually part of the process of becoming the person that you need to be in order to sustain and hold the dream that you want to bring in for yourself. Okay? All right. Good. All right, so I think that's all we have for you today. I definitely want to thank you for being here, and I want you to know how much love, it's almost like the love Spirit is sending through here is very similar to like how firm to communicate, right? It's with a lot of love. It's like they want you to see this for yourself. That's actually, it feels like tough love, but it's love nonetheless, okay? So it's very loving to have this line in the sand for yourself, okay? Yeah, and so they want you to see it. They almost wanted you to see it through this reading and through the way that it was delivered to you, that there's a way it can be firm and gentle, okay? Yes. All right, well, I hope this reading has been helpful for you. It's been my absolute pleasure to deliver it and to get to deliver this message today, so I definitely want to thank Spirit. But if this has been helpful for you, just feel free to give this reading a like, or you can drop a comment. Feel free to go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you would like to receive notifications on when other messages come through for you from your Spirit team. It'd be great to have you as a part of this collective. I also have personal readings available, so if you'd like your own personal reading, feel free to check that out on my website. I am also an LGBTQIA coach, so if you would like some support in whatever challenges you're navigating through at this time, feel free to check that out on my website as well. I would be so happy to connect with you and to support you. I also do have a Patreon as well. I do a specific reading for a smaller group of people week over week that's specifically attuned to their healing. So if you are deciding to start to dive into your healing, maybe working with a healer or some healers, and as you're doing the shadow work, that's specifically what the Patreon is for. So if you want to check that out, that's also in the description box below. I've recently made one of the readings free and available for anyone to look at, so you can get somewhat of a sense of what those readings are like. But feel free to check that out as well. It's $12 a month, cancel anytime. But it's been an absolute pleasure to get to be with you today and to be with you through this message. And just know, again, I'm sending through a lot of love, but Spirit is sending through so much more even. I don't know how that's possible, but they are. And they're right here with you through this process. All right, well, that's our reading for today. The spiritual quarantine is going to come down now, but it's been a pleasure connecting with you. All right, I'll see you at our next reading. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.